so well with the Valentina. So it's like you want to at least take that away or just ban it out so that combination cannot happen. Because even when it comes to the itemization, you see how they work synergistically with each other. Either a Rush Genius Wand for the Harley to go ahead and bring down some of that magic resist, and then the Valentina can actually capitalize on that. And once they get the Divine Glaives too, there's just a ton of damage that you have to deal with, where even with we seen a Radiant Armor wasn't enough to deal with that kind of burst potential in terms of a Harley and a Valentina. So let's see exactly how the draft plays out, because you know that seems to be something that all teams want to take into consideration. Also the fact that we have that matchup. I know last week it was like we highlighted so much with Severo. I feel like on day one with Severo, he really came out swinging. You got to see a whole lot of great technique and micro skills. Day 3 wasn't as good for him. So even here in this matchup, I think he's still going to be going toe-to-toe in that gold lane. He's going to have to be able to go ahead and pop off against Benny Cutie. But in order to do that, it starts in the early game with that mid trio really focusing down on that. So let's take a look at the bans here. You see the Valentina is taken out by ONIC.
It looks like we're posed for either an Eve or Leomord priority pick here. TNC snuff out any possibilities of a surprise Fanny pickup with the Valentina and Kaleagon. Yeah, I think it's really just Eve or Leomord that you could prioritize, unless they want to swerve and then pick up a Farsa for them. Excuse me, not Farsa, Freya for themselves. But that hasn't really been an ONIC thing to do.
Knowing Storm is playing, I think they'll have to double down extra on that mid lane. They'll have to, how do I say, put a priority on it, because you're playing with a new element. It's a new player that you know will not revert to Lunox, which isn't a dig at Lancy. It's just, it's knowledge that you don't have prior experience from.
Yeah. We'll see what they end up going here. Because we've seen blue pick be such a big priority. Oh, interesting too, the carry is actually banned out.
TNC don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, like Benny's not gonna get to play it now, so it's banned now.
Hey, if Benny doesn't want to play a Sora, or again, by deduction, not a Freya, play fast. Marksman, play the Ranger, play the Harith if he can get his hands on it.
Yeah, even the Harith would be an okay option. ONIC are going to be looking out for that already.
Yep.
So, hypothetically, if this is going to be an E for ONIC, might mean that TNC are going to end up with a Leomord for Zyda. I'd want to see them pick up either a Leomord Khalid or a Leomord Hilda. Roamers for this matchup, since we put a lot of importance for roam mid, Freya block. So yeah, Eve here, then could be Leomord Khalid or Leomord Hilda later on for TNC.
Or Suyo Khalid.
Suyo could also come in also for
especially with the Eve.
Yeah. Eve would just be the best way to go though for ONIC. Because of, you know, super friendly. They don't go that. They actually go the Sora.
Of course.
It's open.
Benny doesn't want to play it, pick it up for themselves. And Ryota, well, ONIC played really well with the Sora on the hands of Kirk. Let's see how Ryota's going to fare with it. And his job actually is going to be simple. It's just look for Stone. So that's going to be the Sora diving onto the backline of TNC over and over again. But now TNC need a good balance of a roamer who can vision and burst while also peel. If that's the case, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Hilda getting picked up by them. If this is looking like an EXP Sora, I think later a Ryota, or excuse me, an EXP lane Arlott might be good. To pair up with the even Marcel, actually. Okay, I can see the vision there if they decide to pick up Arlott and DXP.
Marcel got his first 2 wins last week on day 3. He was 0-3 at the start of day 3 in week 1, and he got 2 wins with the same guy. And he was able to make it work, and that's one thing we're really talking about is it's interesting to see how Marcel works in certain compositions. It's like you have to be that mosquito, is basically what we called him, where you're annoying the enemy team, you're trying to make things happen, and also utilize the golden hour for your team to work around.
I wonder if they're already thinking about a Harley and that's why they pick up the Marcel early. Because the golden hour, if you think about it, it's like a winter crown for an entire team to block the deadly magic. So ONIC decided to pick up the Leomord. Don't see a Harley vision, but the Cho early on is surprising. They go full dive against a Marcel.
Why and how?
Here,
Cho hasn't really been the biggest prio pick in the past, 6 months?
Yeah.
He was played last week by Perks, but
they might be playing this as a possibility for flex.
like a gold lane show?
Like a gold lane show. I mean, it is ONIC, but it isn't Kirk. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ryota also has an EXP lane show in their hand.
And then you get a gold lane Sora.
And then a gold lane Sora. So they might be playing for the flex factor, but TNC, they don't need to overthink it. They go for the Phobius instead. Instead of picking up the R-Lot, because of the presence of the Cho, now that's an instant Phobius pickup. And the Sora as well also has some little micro dashes, Leomord as well, so it's just a great Phobius pick.
Yeah, Phobius just seems to be continuing to rise in stock here over the first couple of weeks already, and he just does so well with the current meta, especially the heroes that are picked up. A lot of those Infernal Pursuits being triggered here. You'll see this interesting ban comes out because one of the few players that does pick the Lilia is the Monster Mage, like we talked about here in the pre-panel.
Picked it last week.
Super Prince picked it last week, made it work, and you can argue, is Super Prince ONIC or is ONIC Super Prince? Well, there you go. A Harith banned out too. Super Prince is going to have a lot of room to work with, regardless of what mage he picks. But the gold lane is what I'm worried for Benny Cutie in this matchup.
Depending on what ONIC ban out in Blue 5, it's down to Granger and Moscow. If they're going to follow this whole...
Do you think he'll pick a 1-1? Since that's a Benny Cutie pick?
Oh, wait. Cho, Leomord, Sora...
For me personally, no.
They picked the Phobius, so it might be kind of like a telegraph protected pick.
Yeah, that's one. It's just I'm only throwing out because it's Benny Cutie.
I'm not against it completely.
But if given the choice, they're really focusing on Super Prince here. He still has the Farsa available for him if ever.
He's got the Farsa. He's got the Zetian.
Zetian as well would be great. Oh, considering that you're a full dive comp, you have a strong crowd control ability that if ever, -1 instantly with the Way of the Dragon, Fury of the Phoenix is a good combo. So between the options of Farsa and Zetian, I'm leaning more towards Zetian. And between 1-1 and Moskov, I'm leaning more towards Moskov. Because at least with the Moskov, if Phobius ever makes it to you, you have one knockback to make the most out of and then reposition.
Yeah.
Yes, after the blink, the Phobius can cash up to you, but that's a blink ability, not a dash ability. So it is a different proc.
All right, let's see what they ban out here for the last ban here from ONIC. They're going to go for the Baksha pick.
No.
Because Zayt has no jungler yet.
Yeah. Just...
Unless he goes...
Steady Freddy.
Or Suyo.
Or Suyo. Yeah, you're not gonna be worried of you're not gonna be worried of a lot of magic damage. Suyo would slot in well. Leomord, fast clear. Could be good, yeah.
I think that's the decision. Do we pick up the jungle now, or do we pick up the gold lane and leave the rest? Because yes, that is still the factor that there is a potential with the ONIC picks. Something could be flexed here. So they kind of want to wait to also see what the last two picks are for ONIC.
Oh, they're running it by Benny. You want to play this?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Let's go for 1-1.
Okay, Claude.
This has got to be a Purify Claude.
Yeah.
Has to be.
100% has to be a Purify Claude. So, are ONIC going to end up with something that can blast this? Carry's gone in the matchup. Claude's there. They can still settle back to their YSS gold if they want to. Put the Cho in the roam, Sora EXP. Unless we've already seen the gold, and that is going to be Severo's pickup in the lane. Unfortunately, we actually didn't get to see enough of Severo during the gold lane meta. It was Skylar playing for ONIC ID then. So we don't know how comfortable the young man is with playing fighters in the gold lane.
What if he just goes Moskov? Like, that's what he showed, I feel like, the most.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Last week.
In terms of priorities.
No, it's going to be... Oh, okay.
Oh, it is gold lane. Gold lane Sora?
So gold lane Cho.
Prince on the Kimmy. Kimmy Hylos is the bane of many an RG player since 2023 or something.
Oh, we're not playing Brethren here is going to be tough with the high loss. No. Yeah, just go Suyo. There's going to be a lot of invades coming from ONIC though.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a Nalan either.
Ow. If you look at their gold side lane picks for ONIC, they're both priority.
Ooh,
so they are looking to collapse into the jungle. Huh? Now it's Harley's turn. Zyda's turn to play the Harley.
Okay, this I like.
Yeah.
I can get behind this. It's better than a Nolan, and even the Suyo I would be skittish to play.
Let us know what you guys think out there, super fans. If you want to win 1,000 diamonds, predict the match winner correctly. Scan the QR on the screen right now to know more. There's your chance to get some diamonds. Let us know in the chat as well who you guys think is going to win this game one. That Harley pick there at the end, man. And what was the swap there? Did we see who got the... Where's Severo going? Is he on the Sora? Is it going to be gold lane
We'll
Sora?
confirm it in the screen. It is
Oh, it is.
Severo, Gold Lane, Sora,
Whoa,
Rome,
Brusco Cho.
Brusco, EXP, Hylos.
Yeah.
They dead lane the Hylos Phoveus. Oh.
It's been a long while
Yeah.
since we've seen Hylos get thrown into a dead lane like that.
Yeah, and it's a revitalized dead lane Hylos too. Interesting.
You're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Let the map unfold.
Yeah. So I thought that we'd actually end up getting two very proactive side lanes so that ONIC can just fast clear, win lane, collapse in the center. Except ONIC now decided to focus on completely taking 3 out of the equation, maybe. But now
Zaida.
Zaida is in trouble.
Oh no! Chaknu in deep.
Brusco was trying to delay Zaida and potentially get a kill there, but he ends up dying.
So that's how you answer it. You kind of freeze the Cho on its way in.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay. So
That's
the Marcel.
That's one thing I was wondering,
Yeah.
was how would the Cho fare against a Marcel?
Yeah.
Like any close range hero, bad.
Bad.
I think it is. It's looking like it is just going to be easy. But right now, Brusco is still continuing the pressure onto the jungle of Zaida. Getting vision, but not going to be aggressive now, knowing that he already gave up 1 kill. Severo, we're going to see a gold lane fighter. We didn't see him in a fighter last week. See how he's going to fare against Benny QT. Still, I like that. Despite us not being a fan of the slower, more farm-based gold laner for Benny QT, at least now, with Harley in the jungle, you have a good bridge for it. Harley's damage will be there as long as it doesn't suffer any crazy early game losses. You'll be able to bridge in for the Claude for the late game very easily.
I think that's the key. If you have a dead lane and a weak lane, there has to be some action on the map.
Yeah.
Which is your jungler in this case.
Yeah.
You know, and even in both cases, the Leo Morn, we've seen a whole lot of Leo Morn picked up. This is one of those things, though, for ONIC specifically, especially because of just the early first blood, that they might choose to decide to go a different route on this turtle unless they actually get an advantage in terms of the space. King Kong's level 4, he's going to go ahead and start with the turtle. Super Prince is there as well, has the traction pulse available, but Brusco...
All right, in goes Brusco once more. Gonna get popped here by the deadly magics. That is the Phantom Steed helping King Kong secure. Odd positioning for Stome. I think he was late, maybe 2 seconds to get that ult, so that TNC could not say full on, full send, let's go.
Still going.
Rihanna gets frozen, but not enough damage between the Phoveus and the Marcel, at least this early on.
Yeah, it seems like it is confirmed. Difficult for Cho to get into a good spot to mess up the backline with the Marcel floating around. Effective healing tool. But also one of the reasons why TNC Pro Team couldn't go for the full commit is because 3mar didn't hit level 4 yet. Ryota hit level 4 first and was in a better position to cut off TNC with a glorious pathway, so they decided to play for the slower, trying to see if they can take the turtle away. Just did not go well for them. They did get a kill though, but they did not get a turtle.
Yeah. So it's still nonetheless across the map. It's pretty much even in terms of the way things panned out, but now this is where we get to take a look at not only the Infinix hand cam here, the GT series that we have, the official gaming phone of the MPL Philippines Season 17, but also exactly how this is going to play out now that Brusco has that Way of the Dragon, which is the cornerstone of having this Cho, aside from the G Kundo, that he's able to go ahead and utilize. But that might be a little more difficult. That's why I want to see this unfold with a Marcel across from him. Oh!
They find Ryota, force him to pop that Revitalize. Zaida
There's the kick.
has already used it. The kick on the one, and they freeze the engage. The answer on the Storm. Some flickers back. RW on extra shield, swiping away at the rest of ONIC PH. And they dive on to King Kong. He gets taken down as Chaknu flickers back. Smooth move by the Phoenix Army.
Welcome back, Stome. And also, just as I said, how difficult would it be to actually connect a kick into a kill with a Marcel across from you?
So picking picking Cho with the Marcel around, not good.
You were saying?
There
He
it is.
gets kicked! Benny has no Purify! And he does not have a blazing to it, but
Benny.
he walks out of there! He survives!
He just runs.
They're active, they're going around the map. TNC have handled the past 2 sequences well. One of the reasons why they had advantage in the mid also was because Ryota was spotted out with a great rotation blocked by Zaida and 3mar in left bush mid.
All right, Turtle is up. Second one of the game. ONIC trying to get control of it. No kick just yet for Brusco, so I'm not sure if they can actually really contest this.
Then he has 5 seconds off his Purify.
Okay, now he's got the kick. Benny's got the Purify. Nearly there. They're going to fight for this turret.
Brusco's very low. Gets taken out by 3 more. Turtle secured by Zaida. And a massive torrent here by Ryota. Able to disrupt TNC's forward momentum. Chaknu Gold now walks on out of here. In comes Benny. Blazing duet. But he gets disrupted as he PMI's on out of there. Chaknu looking for some stuns. Zaida, right click, takes down Savero.
The back and forth, bobbing and weaving TNC. We thought TNC needed to watch out for the Harley pick of ONIC, but it turns out it's ONIC that needed to watch out for the Harley pick of Zaida and TNC.
Zaida said, hold my hat. He'll make it work, man. The Harley again, one of those picks that popped up back in, what, M7 for one of the first times. And now it seems to be a mainstay in the current meta right now until teams really figure out how to deal with this Harley pick. But it's not only that, it's the way the team composition works together. You're seeing it from down to the skirmishes, down to the major fights around the objectives. And Chaknu himself has actually been able to go ahead and find something that works really well on this Marcel. And that's something that ONIC is going to have to struggle with for a little bit longer because this lineup just doesn't really give them that opportunity to fight face-to-face just yet.
Force the torrent out of Ryota there. Rather, Savero, the lightning form. But, okay, great move from ONIC. Again, they freeze the map for long enough for that duo push up top.
Yeah. And now they're going to be playing through their actual carry now for the mid to the late game. It's going to be Super Friends. But is he still going to be building Sky Piercer considering that they didn't have the early game that they want? Probably not. So it's going to be a mix of playing through... Well, okay. Yeah, it's unfair to say Super Friends is just a carry. Wait, Chaknu.
Chaknu looking for the right freeze. No, the picture, the moment's not right.
Yeah.
He does not force the engage. Benny Cutie looking for an angle. Turtle in 5.
Just snapping a shot there.
Oh, no. Ryota here. Throws it once more. Forces a revitalize. Yo, Chaknu is a nuisance.
Like I said, man, I said this last week. Marcel is literally a mosquito to the opposing team. And even if you do that, you just bob and weave through there. He's running the quantum charge. He's got the speed. And if you get a Revitalize down or a Battle Spell, that's great. They're going to fight for this turtle.
First pathway, dropped in by Ryota. They freeze the turtle. They freeze the entry point. Golden hour done. King Kong calls in MPL. Ryota barely alive. In comes 3 bar, ducks on him. RWM keeps him down. Ryota's fallen. Sawa Savero and King Kong falls. Benny gets a double and they're not done. They're chasing Brusco. Chaknu frees him. Damage from Zaida. A hat in time. He survives with some shields. ONIC saving face, but TNC pushing mid.
Fancy footwork from Brusco to stay alive, but TNC is in control.
Yeah, so one of the key plays that I saw there was actually a dodge from Benny Cutie. Severo decided to go straight for the Claude, but Benny Cutie just went over the wall with a BMI. Severo went for the shifting clouds, but landed onto no one. Well, specifically landed on the Golem Green Camp. But not on any of the heroes of TNC. With that massive dodge in the backline now going to be safe, TNC easily fought that. Although King Kong did get that turtle, it was still a massive loss in the end for ONIC.
Oh! Benny Cutie catches a face full of basic attacks from Super Friends. Time to breathe here. The map belongs to TNC, clearly, but where does ONIC find a way in? Because it looks like their only real surprise comes from Friends jumping him. I think TNC have read out Brusco at this point.
Yeah. Read out Brusco. They deal with Ryota. This is why the Hylos pick in the XP lane was a little weird, the way that it ended up in that position, because all you're seeing TNC do is, okay, find Ryota. He's very slow unless we pop the Glorious Pathway or the Revitalize. Either way, we're winning by getting those out from Ryota.
Man, Marcel is a nuisance.
Oh!
Even when Brusco tries wants to get a little combo on him, maybe Jeet can go see if he can get a kickoff. Nah, you're just going to get frozen in time. Quick little picture.
Whoop,
goes through all of them.
That's 4 members confirming where they are. That's old school vision right there.
Yeah, trigger discipline. If this was last week's TNC, they would have full committed that right away. But instead, they just read the situation. They found the vision, and they decided to back off, knowing that the Lord is coming up.
This almost has to be... I'm wondering how Chaknu feels about this, you know, since he's such a legendary roamer, playing Marcel in this way, essentially being able to provide free vision without too much of a worry to die, instead of needing to jump into a bush or make something happen that way. He's able to go ahead and maneuver around the opposing team this way. It gives them such an advantage, and now that this Lord is up, despite it all, ONIC is actually in a position to want to contest and fight.
Interesting moves like Chaknu. Up and just flushes out all the bushes, even those top bushes, just in case for someone from ONIC got in.
And ONIC can only watch.
At half health, they freeze Savera, they take him down. Deadly Magic's committed. Golden Hour, stopping the entry through there. Ryota gets caught even in his glorious pathway. 2 free kills for TNC, and they're not done. RWM stopping Fritz, getting away. Zyda, space escape in through, dealing damage. In comes the dangerous 3-mark. King Kong looking to clean up, but not going to be enough. He goes in MPL, but he's about to fall as well. Stone finds one, and it might be a wipeout. Brusco, burn-in, flickers out all this while. Benny was taking care of Lord.
Take a good look, because this is the last time you're going to see Marcel this series.
I gotta say, this is one of the best synergies we've seen from TNC in a while. They are alley-ooping each other, and Chaknu earlier on, even with the golden hour, even though it didn't hit anyone, it zoned out the members from the team to focus on a kill, and that's just how strong it's working for them.
Yeah, and because where Chaknu got vision, he found Brusco, meaning left bush mid was held by Savero. He was in the right place, but because of them getting forced back, I believe it was Brusco and Super Friends forced back by the Marcel alone, that meant Savero would be an easy target for TNC to take down. So it's the effect of picking the Cho right after seeing the Marcel that's just working out very well for TNC and very badly for ONIC.
Oh, this is so tough. Golden hour used. They just want to get that tier 2. They get it down. He picks up a flask of the Oasis, so he's already even more annoyed now with the shields. Look at the shields.
Look at that perilous cross he made right through tier 3 in mid.
Hey man, you want the picture is bad enough. You're gonna do that. Right now, Lord charging up bottom base turret. King Kong.
He does it again! Runs right through even King Kong!
I think he's getting MVP, guys.
Oh, that's it. He's in the base. Lord has crashed on through. These tracking shots by Chaknu are getting it so much easier. King Kong, can he live? No, even underneath the fountain! He gets popped by the deadly magics. TNC are looking to finish here. Lord is being taken down. The Phoenix Army have to slow it down.
You're gonna have to do it somehow. Wave in mid, taking down this last base turret. And without King Kong, can ONIC Philippines defend this?
Oh, Chaknu finds Ryota, frees him right before he drops the glorious pathway, but that's gonna take care of the inhibitor anyways. TNC, they're looking at a bare base. Chaknu looking for more. Real world manipulation. Chaknu gets away. Chaknu very low. Golden hour underneath it. He freezes all the damage. Savero comes in. Not enough. Gets taken down by Zyda. Chaknu goes and tries to freeze him more. And there's the base. There's the minions. TNC take game 1.
Chaknu on the Marcel telling ONIC, before anyone wanted to take pictures with you, everybody wanted to take pictures with me. What a performance by the Mamba on the Marcel.
Not the hero you'd expect in the hands of someone like Chaknu, but damn, did he make it look good there. And also, Stome, again, welcome back to the MPL Philippines.
It might be too soon to say, but is it just me or does it look like Chaknu and Stome are really talking?
Yes! When we were gassing and watching, talking about the action that Chaknu and Nancy brought for TNC last week, it always felt like there was a slight disconnect here and there. It wasn't all the time, but a good amount of the time we were thinking, were they not talking? Here, definitely you could feel it. Stome and Chaknu probably were talking non-stop, and hence why their timings together. Chaknu gets vision, Stome is there, Void Crystal right away, you get a little bit of poke over and over again.
Stome's about to die, Chaknu puts up the golden hour, gets the flicker on out. It's almost picture perfect.
Is that the familiarity with, you know, back in the day, if you will?
As Omega Brothers?
As Omega Brothers. Is there something there?
I'm pretty sure it is, man.
Yeah, that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, it has to be. TNC did not make, I mean, of course, reigning, defending, roster reveal champions for how many seasons now, would not spend all of that effort to, okay, they didn't talk there. Stone didn't get the high five there. Zyda is going to be MVP. The Hardy was a huge effect. I really wish it was the Marcel though, but you know what, Zyda, should give it to him. Well deserved, but that is very shocking to me.
Yep.
According to the stats, I think he's still the best jungler in the season currently, even with them losing last week.
Yeah, when Zyda gets a hero like this, of course, he's able to perform like this, but he wouldn't have been able to do this, I feel like, without the Mamba setting things up for them, Chaknu. And even so, again, there's so many moments, so many highlights. The trio.
It's that trio, Joseph.
It's what we talk about. We're going to look at the highlights here. from Zyna and TNC. But that's what I was saying. Even at one point, Stone, was, if I remember right, was like 1-0-12. That's a KDA we saw from the Monster Mage last week. And this time, it's Stone. So, and I don't know, man. Maybe it was just because of that early start, that early momentum where they were able to shut down Brusco, because they didn't do it just then. They did it throughout the entirety of the game. And I feel like, again, Marcel, you're probably not going to see him in the next game.
The Bruiser could not play.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's just because of the Marcel, but the Marcel definitely helped. Like, he was more than half the reason why.
And it's more than just getting those little freeze frames or the golden hour. It's the vision. The vision provided with a Marcel's composition is insane.
And can we talk about how it looked like Benny was actually playing now?
Yeah.
Benny was just so ready. The one time that he died, or the one time he was caught with his pants down, was when his Purify was off of cooldown.
Yeah.
That was clearly a proactive move by ONIC. That was less of TNC fumbling or him making the mistake. But that aside, this is the Benny Cutie we were looking for since week 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we put a lot of focus on the roam mid duo for this specific matchup. When the roam mid is dominating and stopping the opposing roam mid, the side laners are the happiest.
The rest of the map comes alive.
The rest of the map comes alive. Hence why it's open for Benny QT to just get out of the lane real quick. BMI, Blazing Duet, free hit. I'm going back to lane. Meanwhile, Severo's like slowly trugging along with the Sora, already beat to the punch by the Claude, and then rinse and repeat. If this went the other way and Brusco and Super Friends were able to handle Chapnu, maybe deliver a few deaths onto him so that Chapnu wouldn't be as open to continuously get vision, we might have seen a different story for Benny QT in the gold lane. Hell, that might have even affected the jungling pattern and impact of Zyda, but that's not what we saw. We saw clearly Joe gets ridiculously messed up by the Marcel.
Look at that. Again, 12-28 on this game. A massive victory, 16-3 for TNC.
Gentlemen, might I present this possibility?
Yes.
ONIC may have overcooked their draft.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, with those first 3 picks especially.
In the first, they're like, all right, here's the plan. And then second, wait, what were you going to do again? Okay, let's recover.
I mean, clearly for ONIC, they decided to look at Super Friends as the main carry for this one. That's why you end up putting 2 fighters in the EXP lane, a tank in the EXP lane, so that your side lanes can just hold, manage, and the middle of the map is free. But then if you go into a losing matchup already with your roam and mid, then your entire plan collapses. Hence why it looks like ONIC's plan in the draft just fell apart as it went on. But I feel like it was more of because of the impact that, again, the Marcel has against the Cho, in the Cho's ability to get setups, to get vision.
Yeah.